question on the directions questionnaire is, will you consider smart ways mediation? Yeah. So that's kind of auto opt-in. We're just switching that round, so it's now auto opt-out. So the claim up to £300 is what we're planning to trial. Users will be auto opted in to use mediation. They then have the choice to opt out of using mediation. That's our plan. So sorry, it's not mandatory. They've still got the choice to completely opt out of the mediation journey. Should be so.
Right, so it's not mandatory in any way, shape or form? Right, okay.
Yeah.
That answers my question.
Great, okay. Who's next, please? Yes, lady here.
I've got a couple, so
That's fine, yeah.
SDT. Originally, the timeline for looking at SDT of
Sorry, just one thing. For SDT, for everyone else that's here who might not know.
Bulk users.
Bulk users.
Yeah, so bulk users currently issuing claims through CCBC. We were expecting somewhere during the course of this year that would be mapped out to something over OCMC. Did that change when the timeline was revised and where does SDT sit currently in the programme?
Yeah. So, Mark, I think that might be one for you.
Yeah. So it's still definitely within our plan to move SDT users over. The roadmap has sort of changed slightly. It is still very much, I mean, as we mentioned, I think it's around 1.4 million claims are issued for SDT. It works, it's a service that works for you, so obviously we don't like to sort of set anything currently, fix the things that are wrong on the political person side. It will be towards the end of the project, I suggest. I'd say probably more towards the end of this year, early next year, is when we'll be looking to migrate SDT users. Does that answer your question? Okay.
Enforcement. Is there a revised timeline for the enforcement programme, and do you have to use OCMC to be able to get the benefits of any enhancements you mentioned?
Yes, there has been a revised timeline, that's the enforcement part of things, certainly. So currently we're looking at July 2020, or around May to July 2020, to start reconsidering what the enforcement process would look like. And it's going to take some time to prepare that, so we'll start the preparatory work probably just beforehand. I think to answer the specifics of the question is difficult, given how far away that work is likely to be now.
That's quite a big pushback on enforcement on the timeline, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Okay.
Well, would you mind to
It's basically about, this is a whole programme issue, about looking at how we develop different bits of software, different bits of technology. So instead, probably the easiest way to think about it is that within the car industry now, you have a single set of components, and you use slightly different body shells and slightly different knobs and things like that onto the base product. So that's what we're going to do with the IT. So it's called common capabilities. We'll develop those common capabilities, and we can then map onto that different specific bits of technology. And over the longer term, that allows us to develop a better outcome. Are you convinced?
No,
What would you?
that enforcement is the bit that adds the most value, and the bits that you're doing at the moment are replicating some of the things that already exist, so it feels like you're quite way into the programme before you start to have the value perhaps we were hoping for.
Yeah, I think we'd all, if it made sense, it would be better to stick to a timetable, but where the overall benefits are such that it's worth taking a step back, getting that basic common set of capabilities right, and then moving on, that should be more efficient and end up with a better outcome. So yes, there is a bit of a delay, but overall it's better to take the time and do it right than to rush and get it wrong.
But it will happen.
Oh yeah.
So Jeff, you mentioned that, and just talking about enforcement, taking this point one step further, you said, is that 2020 July delivery date in your eyes, or is that when you're just going to start considering what you'll deliver, and then if it's that latter one, then what's the timescale for delivery and enforcement as such in the new world?
So the point of July 2020 is where we envisage now that work starting. But given how far away it is in the future, it's difficult to know exactly what will be delivered at that point, which parts, in other words, of enforcement we might choose to go with. So whether that's, for example, a development of a new risk product, whatever that might look like, or it might be a development of a new one. It's really difficult to say what that will be. What we can say is that we believe, as David has just pointed out rightly, we would have those common capabilities of other bits of kit ready to go by that point. We'll have a good idea of what the CMC products will look like at that point. We'll have all of that pre-knowledge and understanding and use the research that I talked about in place by then. So we will build them what we've done already, things I mentioned. We will use that to inform the starting point of our discussion, I beg your pardon. And ultimately we'll look to see what we start building now in July. And I see that as the start of the build of those, what we might not call a prime beta product, something like Marcus just described there and shown there, where you would go on and you could do a thing, perhaps whether that's once or you might be rigs. But because of the distance in time, because it's so far into the future, over a year away, and because of how much there is to do between now and then, it's really difficult for me to say absolutely here and now on record and say, yes, it will be this thing, and we do that. So forgive me, since I can't give that accurate description, but I can say that civil enforcement will be starting then in that
Pretty much cherry pick what you're going to take forward, but that'll be July 2020.
And it'll be, as David said, it will be focused in on what is delivering the benefits, and who's benefiting. So it should be the user, that's what we're trying to pin these things on. And if we do that right, if we get the research which we've collected already, and the people who are using the service, whomever they are, then the benefits will drive out for them in a better service, and also hopefully for the taxpayer too, in a better financial product at the end of that as well. You know, we should see savings generate return for the taxpayer.
Lady at the back there.
Oh, thank you. It was just really an observation. I noticed that on the online court claim, the branding is the gov.uk, and I just wondered if that was the most appropriate, sort of bearing in mind sort of separation of powers and sort of possible conflicts there.
It's interesting, I know that's happened with SSCS, has recently changed their branding, haven't they? UK, or there's plans to. But I'm not sure that that's
So that's I think that's a really good point, and it is one that we're aware of. Yeah. So I don't know enough of the details to say exactly what's happening, but that has been raised before, and we're looking at it for the reasons that you said.
I think it's probably been raised by Joshua Rosenberg.
Yeah.
Any more questions? Yes, gentlemen.
David Askin, on the sharp end of enforcement. I'm quite interested, just going back to the enforcement side, it seems that you're adopting a modular approach, which kind of fills me with delight, because what you're saying is a year in the future, which is actually a fairly short time scale, developing fairly quite rapidly software. I've got the impression from the way you're describing that, you're actually setting out a set of standards. Of course, my interest would be from delivering the service to the end user. If you've got a set of common standards that everyone can apply, it's going to make the travel on our side a lot easier. Is that the thrust that you're going through?
Is that from the common capabilities?
Yes.
Yeah, no, that's more, it's an IT thing.
Yeah.
So it's
Because I've got foot in both camps. Not only do I do my own dirty work, but I'm also responsible for all the software design.
Right, okay.
So I really do
Yeah.
it.
So it's kind of how I was trying to describe it before. You get the basic mechanics underneath the same, and then you can tag on new bits of technology as you go along, and you should end up with a more consistent, easier to develop product.
Right, I'm really quite thrilled by that, because that wasn't something I expected to hear at a certain stage. Because I understand it's like a modular system. Well, I think that just makes it.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's like, for example, it might be an identity management system, which basically means how do I get an account with a username and a password? And that's just one of those common capabilities. It's simply giving the user access to go and say, yes, my username is this, password is that, and now I can go back in. I don't need to finish this in one go. I don't need to worry that it's going to time out and lose all of the work, which has happened in some services.
Yeah, again, it's having a great pleasure of dealing with sort of user interfaces of our systems. And, you know, the big $94,000 question is how far has my enforcement got? Actually being able to present that in an easy to use format and assistance easy to use for enforcement professionals. So I've accidentally been involved in that for the last 30 odd years. So I'm quite pleased with what I hear.
I'll take your first word, delighted.
You seem very apologetic to say, well, we're not actually going to start looking at this in 2020. I'm glad to hear it, because the last thing you want to do is go off half-cock and you end up with a bit here and a bit there. 2020 is ever so not that far away. It's March 1919 after all.
Yeah, and we want this to be a real step change improvement for everyone who's using the system. So it's better, as I said, to get it right than to do it fast.
Gentleman in blue suit.
Just in terms of obviously the enforcement changes you're looking to implement, obviously as a bulk user, and many bulk users in this room, we put through the majority of the enforcement applications, and obviously we're spending a lot of money through HMCTS as well. So obviously as quite a large, as a bulk user, we've got quite a large stakeholder in this. How much engagement are you going to look to have with these bulk users to make sure the build for us is something that's going to meet our needs?
I think you're absolutely right, we need that engagement. What we've tried to do, as I mentioned earlier on, is to have a wide remit of user groups that we go to and that we engage in the process of design and the process of research and the process of understanding what it is that currently either troubles them or they find difficult or actually they quite like about the process, and I'm sure there are things that we do like. It probably is a little early for me to say exactly what that's going to look like in the future. This is going to be my standard response, I think, for today. But it's important to note that we've started a lot of this work already. We've done a lot of user research, and I think if you maybe have not been involved in that process, and this is to everybody in the room, if you've not been involved in that user research process, it's events like this, through the communication channels that you get here today, that we really encourage you to take part in the future so that you can have your voice heard wherever you are, whoever you represent, and that we can include that information. We had 100, I think I said it was 167 individual responses. If you think about that, it sounds quite a big number, but actually if you think of the number of people in this room across the whole country and of the people who you represent, we want to hear more about what is a good civil enforcement and good civil money claims process, actually, but a good civil enforcement process looks like.
Hello, I'm not asking a question. I actually work for HMCTS. My name is Alice Owen. I lead on legal professional engagement and judicial engagement, which is a rather large and disconcertingly vague title. I know that there's AMER in this room, and I know that we've worked quite closely with the CCUA, but there's definitely more to do. I don't think maybe the right time is now, but I'm more than happy to take anybody's email address and stick it on to a group that will definitely happen in the future. So we've done this with video hearings with legal professionals. Obviously, barristers and solicitors have very, very different views as to when they want to take part in that process and what that means for them. And as a bulk user, as opposed to someone who's a lit, it's going to have a very, very different priority set. And yeah, we're more than happy to take your email addresses now. Paula and I have obviously got them from the Eventbrite, so it's just a question of ticking off, but please come and see me afterwards. Make a lovely queue.
Any more questions? We've got plenty of time, so I'll come to you next, and then this lady in the microphone.
So I need focusing on the closing process at the moment, but as you know, with all the sorts of closing and things like that, it's the intention to engage with third parties and software suppliers, or we just focusing on yourself.
So third-party software suppliers for what?
So we're from One Advanced, so you fill in the claim form, and then you fix them with other gateways, like HMRC and One Registry. Would there be a timeline at some point where you thinking will engage with software suppliers as well as directly with firms?
Can I say yes? I can imagine yes, we will. It's something I can certainly take forward. Again, take up your research and people can speak to better.
Brilliant, thank you.
So who was next? Was it Lydia? Somebody like that?
Enhanced fees. Is there any plan within the programme to revisit with the Treasury enhanced fees and their appropriateness and fair, accessible justice system?
Not that I'm aware for civil money claims personally. It's not something that I'm involved in, whether that's a more of a policy, MOJ policy, fees apply across management regions.
What are you talking? What
The
are you
actual
talking about?
enhanced fees, so fees when you actually issue a claim, which are proportional to the debt size, not the volume of time or process that actually is applied to it by HMCTS. So for example, issuing a claim I think can be up to about £10,000, which obviously is detrimental to both the claimant and the defendant. The claimant not knowing if they're going to get it back. The defendant, obviously, if judgment is granted, then taking on that to become payable. And actually on a claim that might be a default judgment that goes straight through without particularly any court intervention.
Yeah. Okay. Well, do you know the answer?
I don't know the answer, to be honest, but I can take it out.
Right. So we can't answer that question for you now.
Okay.
So if you come to us at the end, give us your name, and
Yes,
we'll
will do.
have it for you and share it with you.
Thank you.
We're happy to answer anything in writing that we can't answer tonight, so yeah, no problem with that at all. Okay, any further questions? And don't forget we have a district judge in the room with us, and anything for the judiciary. Gentleman here, yeah?
I have a question for District Judge Corwington. Good evening, sir. How do you see the online money claims affecting your workload? Because the presumption will basically be if the system is easier, you will get more users. And with the pressure on the judiciary as it is at the moment, do you see your life as easier or more difficult?
Difficult to predict. I mean, the current figures show the volume that's coming through the online court. The split in terms of the range of cases calculated by value is almost a mirror image of what's already there through ENCOD. I think it's probably far too early to say whether or not there's been an increase in the issue of cases. And I think overall there's been very little change at all. And in terms therefore of how it affects us as judges, in volume, we haven't noticed any significant alteration. The most significant change that most district judges have seen so far is in relation to those cases that do make it through to us as defended cases and come to us for case management, allocation of case management. And of course we're very accustomed to opening the file, paper file, and seeing the claim form as issued to ENCOD. And trying to fathom out from the little box of 1,080 characters what the claims are about. Not so bad if it's a single invoice that hasn't been paid or something like that, but anything more sophisticated. And of course you get so little information that in many cases we end up having to direct it further particulars of provider. So we can actually ascertain what's this case really about. Contrast that with what we're getting through now. And you saw briefly before an image of what the claim form, a particular claim, looks like when it's generated through the system. And it is so much easier from the judge's perspective to immediately see what the claim is, identify the issues and perhaps rule out what aren't issues. And it makes them that more easier. The feedback that I've had, not only from here but from other judges around the country, has been one of sort of universal approval of that system. In terms of other ways that it's going to be impact upon our workload, again, I think you saw on the slides there, the reference is probably actually going back to what Michael Bruce's report originally envisaged, which was the idea of working towards a greater level of disposal and determination of these cases without formal hearings. That's a massively difficult area because, of course, start from the idea that cases are determined in public for hearings. The model, as envisaged through the 2016 report, encompassed the possibility of these cases, particularly lower value cases, being determined on the papers. We've got it already at the moment, at least until the end of this month we've got it, and then it will be a small claims proceeding. We're all accustomed now to doing stage 3 personal injury claims by way of paper determination rather than hearings. And what is about to be piloted, as you saw there, was the idea of claims through online money claims with a value up to £300 being determined without a formal hearing. And it was determined on papers only. Say papers, of course, we've got to get away from saying papers, because the one thing about this is that if I'm doing those cases, I won't have a piece of paper. I'll be picking up the documentation digitally and processing it and dealing with it digitally. So we're getting into also then the paperless claim system. The scheme that is proposed at the moment is to introduce, first of all, in relation to up to £300 claims, case management by legal advisors. So one obvious impact on the daily life of the district judge is we may see rather smaller piles of files coming through to us for case management allocation, because some of that work will be delegated. It's hoped that within the next few months that the initial implementation of that scheme will come into force. We have a team of legal advisors who are based at Salford. They're about to be trained on case management for these type of cases. And as I say, the pilot is to start slowly with claims to £300. On the back of that, what is then anticipated is that those cases which are case managed in that way, which will then be going forward for determination, will come through to district judges, and the proposal at the moment is that we pilot it in 2 courts, Manchester and Birmingham, where the judges will determine those cases without a hearing. Is that going to make my life easier or is it not? There's a split view on that. Many judges take the view that it's actually quicker in small claims to have the parties in, hear the evidence, and do a normal judgment, compared with having to read through the rules and documentation of the file, and then have to give a judgment which is supported by belief and reasons. Others take a different view. Depends really how much detail the judgment goes into. So we don't really know yet quite what the impact of that is likely to be. But certainly I expect that the legal advisor project, if it becomes eventually business as usual, will take some of the burden off the district judges in terms of case management. We will still be left with determining the cases because the red line principle that was set out in Michael Brinter's report and has remained in place ever since is that final determination of any disputed claim will be by a judge. So we can't, I'm afraid, delegate that particular aspect of the law. That stays with us.
Okay, any more questions? Gentleman at the back?
If I may, I'd like to say 1 or 2 things. I know I'm a bit out of place here, 69 years since I was at school, but that reminded me of it. I'm very much in favour of everything that went through there. I think somebody said you were going to spend £1 billion, was it? Right, that's excellent. It says up there, justice matters. We're transforming the way we deliver justice because justice matters. That's great. The problem is, people at the bottom end of the scale are being left behind. Some of the in my experience, the county courts, they don't have enough staff. In the case I've been involved in, 3 times documents supplied to the court before the required date weren't in the judge's file at the hearing. I was really pleased to see up there the litigants in person mentioned. Great, fantastic. I've got a copy of the Equal Treatment Bench Book, courtesy of the Justice Department who emailed it to me. Half the people in the judiciary don't know it exists. In the case I was involved with, at least 12 judges, only one lady judge seemed to be aware of it. So that means people like me, I'm disabled, I'm terminally ill with cancer, we don't get the recommended procedures that are in these books. And I feel it's all that, it is excellent. I mean, I do everything online. Without my iPad, I'd be lost. So it's great, but you're not looking after what's in use now, what's being used now. And I think it's a disgrace. I had a 7-page, I mean, this meeting is not for me to go ranting on, but I had a 7-page letter which highlights my experiences in the last 2 years and where I've been let down by the justice system. And I would like one person here to be good enough to take that away, read it, and hopefully reply and tell me, yes, you're right there, no, you're wrong there, that doesn't apply. I'm not asking anybody to get involved in the actual case I was involved, because that, is out of order. But I'm surrounded by professionals. Most of you will have studied, some of you have studied and practiced for years, but you're not paying attention to what's going down at the bottom of the tree. You need to look after that at the same time as making progress. I mean, I'm all for progress. I say, you've just no idea. When you go into a county court and you want to defend yourself, you go looking for the leaflets that will help you. I went into my local county court, all the leaflets were 3 to 10 years out of date. What good is that? I looked for the nearest county court. I found it on the internet. Great, went straight to it. Wonderful street signs. When I get there, it's a derelict building, all closed. Delete information like that. Don't, keep promoting false information. Get that right as well as making progress. So I won't go on anymore because I've an awful lot I would like to say. But if somebody would be good enough to take my letter from me, I'd appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and thank you for sharing your experience. I think what that does is shows us why it's so important that we make things better in the future. Now, I know that doesn't help with the here and now, and there are things we need to do here and now to make sure that the access to justice, the way the system works, helps those who are using it. So
exactly.
What we'll do is we'll get someone to speak to you at the end and make sure that we talk further about what you've raised. But thank you. I think you've just shown why we need to change.
Yeah, oh yes, as I say, I'm 100% about those changes. I mean, I was looking at one there about the mediation. I couldn't get mediation. Obviously, both parties have to agree. I think everybody here is going to disagree, but I would put the money amount a lot higher, not the 300, or find a way so that you could have 2 categories, if you like, one with a higher amount, one with a lower amount, because it's so easy.
There's all sorts of options, aren't there?
Yeah.
It's never quite clear. So what we want to do is to start small, see how it works. We want to make sure the system works in the future, which is why there's an awful lot of attention paid to doing that, including talk with users. So thank you again for sharing your experience.
Just one other point. I signed up to get emails from the Justice Department. It's wonderful. They don't all apply to me. Some have done. I've learned a great deal. It's helped me. But I think you need to find ways to get this information to more people. People who want to bring money claims and so on. What I would worry about is that not all legal people would inform the client that they could do it themselves. Some might take it upon themselves, to do it for them and charge accordingly. I don't know whether you have a system where automatically age concerned citizens' advice get information. For instance, I went to Shelter, I went to the Law Society, I went to Citizens' Advice, I went to Age Concern. None of them had any information on this litigation in person or anything. So, to me, you need to find a way to make the general public more aware, not just people like yourselves who work in the industry all the time.
Yeah, no, I think you make a fair point, and there's certainly work going on around forms, for example, making them easier to understand. And I think there's probably a point we can take away about making sure that, I think there's a question you put at the start about who's actually looked at this as a public beta, and I don't think we've got lots of people putting their hands up. So there's something not just about doing the service, but making sure people know about the service. So we'll take that point away. So thank you very much.
But I suppose if somebody approaches, say, a county court about taking a money claim, they should then obviously be asked, are you on email? We'll email you some procedures or forms or what have you.
Yeah, that's right. It's about making it more accessible, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you very much indeed. Are there any other questions from the floor?
Yes, gentlemen.
Hi, you mentioned about the personal injury claims brought to the stage 3. I just wondered how joined up this with the extension to the board with example for low value commuter claims, for example, it's example from the 20. Appreciate that the MIB needs to be involved with that, and Jake, you've joined up in terms of your approach with
In terms of that specifically, I don't know, to be completely honest, but again, we can take a note of that, take the email address and pick it up from there. Alex?
I do know a little bit about it because I used to work for the Association of British Insurers. So when it was the MIB portal before it became the MOJ portal, and before it was horizontally and vertically extended to cover 25k and EL and PL. It was the first thing when I used to work at the Law Society actually, that I said that the civil money claims side should look at because there are a lot of people that can share a lot of really good experiences. I know now that the jurisdictional DD, who sits, deputy director that sits amongst these people sat in the front of the room, is keyed in with them, and we are talking to them to make sure that we're not duplicating really important work and really important lessons learned.
I think the concern is just that, say, in April 2020, there's not much information out there at the moment as to what's happening with that. You're looking to extend this to more court users over the next 18 months. That's a very simple system. If you're introducing it, you could look at taking that court forward as well. But where we get to development is just what I don't know whether you have any information on that.
I don't think we do.
We've not said
so we've got information we can find out for you, but not here right now.
Yeah, if you leave your email address at the end, and then we can ask that in writing.
Oh, hang on.
The proposed scheme, of course, is one which is going to have to be worked into the civil proceedings. If I speak now with a slightly different pattern, as a member of the committee, in terms of what we've been looking at today, that has all been put into effect under the auspices of the Rule Committee. There is a dedicated subcommittee that deals with online civil money claims. And we have, as you have seen from the fact that there was a bit of practice direction, that's the way in which we actually implemented it. That's not quite what Michael Briggs originally had in mind, because he anticipated there would be a completely separate Rule Committee to deal with this sort of procedure. That hasn't happened. It may happen at some stage in the future. So at the moment, developing something like this has to be done in conjunction with the Rule Committee to make sure that we've got a system that fits within the CPR. Similar thing in relation to the proposed board. At the moment, you've got Practice Direction 8B, dealing with your existing PI board claims. The new scheme that is proposed to replace that is something which the Rule Committee have been asked to look at. We have had presentations from MOJ. I'll choose my words very carefully. They were asked to come back and clarify. They came back and clarified. They were asked to go away and come back and clarify again. And at the last meeting, it wasn't on the agenda. So the Rural Committee is still really waiting to know what exactly it is that MOJ are proposing. And unless and until we know that, we can't begin to write the rules. In a sense, it's almost a kind of cat and mouse game where at times it looked as if MOJ was saying, well, this is what we've got in mind. Will you write the rules for us and then we can get on with it? And we said, well, no, you tell us what it is that you're proposing to do. We will then the rule aspect of it. So we're still some way off doing that. And unless and until we have a clearer picture from the MOJ as to what is proposed, we can't actually get on with the necessary preparatory work for preparing and improving the rules. So I don't think anybody can probably answer your question at this stage, because there's still so many unanswered questions to be done.
I've understood that it's to be tested from October 2019, so the line that you just said, does that inspire confidence that it will be actually ready to be tested from?
Well, you can read into the replies that will be given already.
Does that give you enough information, or would you like us to take it away and try and get some more?
I'd be interested to have more information about that.
Any further questions? No? Okay. Well, shall I hand back to David just for closing remarks, or please do that?
Yeah, no, can do.
Yeah. So thank you very much. And that's David.
Good. Thank you very much, everyone. What we'll do is take away, so there's been a record kept at the back as to what's been asked today, what you've contributed. There were 2 or 3 questions, I think, where we couldn't give you a full answer. So if you want us to provide you with that answer, is there someone at the back? Is it?
Yeah, we've got all your email addresses, so we'll do a Q&A document and send it round.
Okay, so you should get those answers and a further contact point if you want further clarification. So if there's anything else that comes to mind following this event, please get back in touch with us. And thank you very much for your attendance. Thank you.